Edgar Berlanga's a tough cookie.
Berlanga ain't scared. We saw that against Canelo. He will trade.
Seen him have, yeah, I think he's one of the better super middleweights. He's a tough fight for anybody in that division. He was a tough fight for Canelo.
Sheeraz, for me, was never a middleweight anyway. He was always too big for a middleweight.
Yeah, in that fight, if you're scoring, what was your verdict?
Sheeraz didn't win.
Do you think it was a draw?
No.
Welcome back to BoxCast. In this episode, we're going to look at the upcoming bout between Hamzah Sheeraz and Edgar Berlanga, and the undercard taking place on July the 12th, 2025 at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, USA. I believe it's going to be streamed in the USA and in UK on DAZN, and probably worldwide as well. Okay, let me start with a tale of the tape. Hamzah Sheeraz has a record of 21 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 22 fights in total, 17 wins by KO. He's aged 26. He's 6'3", 191 centimeters tall. He's got a 75-inch reach, 191 centimeters. This fight, and correct us if we're wrong, but we think it's a super middleweight, 168 pounds, 76.2 kilograms. And Sheeraz fights out of an orthodox stance. Edgar Berlanga has a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 24 fights in total, 18 wins by KO. He's aged 28. His height is 6'1", 185 centimeters. Reach is 73 inches, 185 centimeters. And he also fights out of an orthodox stance. So this is basically a recovery from Hamzah Sheeraz's draw, shall we say, draw in quotes against Carlos Adames at middleweight. So he's stepping up in weight, I think, to the super middleweight and taking on one of the sort of main contenders in that division. And Edgar Berlanga's had his losses was against Canelo. But other than that, he's done quite well in that division. Because he was quite well ranked. He was 9th, but I think you could easily put him a bit higher than that. And Hamzah Sheeraz is coming up because he was in the middleweight. I think he's still ranked at number 3 in middleweight by Ring, but anyway, we'll go into that. So, what do you think on this fight, Simon? It's a make or break for Hamzah Sheeraz? Edgar Berlanga's a tough cookie at this weight. Obviously, Canelo took him out, but then Canelo is Canelo. So
Canelo didn't take him out.
Well, he ran from there, but beat him basically. Yeah, actually, Canelo hasn't taken anybody out for the last 4 fights, or 4 fights. So yeah, let me rephrase that. Beat him.
I mean, Sheeraz, for me, was never a middleweight anyway. He was always too big for a middleweight.
Yeah, I think he was.
Like
We've said that a few times, I think, isn't it? That is
6'3", and
he's even big for a super middleweight.
Yeah. How he ever made light middleweight. I mean, his last fight
was underwhelming, to say the least.
Yeah, and you go, was it weight draining? Was it did suspected broken hand, or did he just not good enough? They're questions.
Well, I think it could be also overlooking the fight, because they were also like, it was expected to win. He was the favourite, even though Adames is the champion. And I mean, I think we did say Adames is a good
yeah, I mean, these
boxer.
Are questions that are going to be asked about him on this fight.
Question for you. In that fight, if you're scoring, what was your verdict?
Well, Sheeraz didn't win.
Yeah. Do you think it was a draw?
No.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think Carlos Adames was the winner of that fight. I can understand why they're giving it a draw, but I think it's a little bit tight on Adames.
But this fight, like I say, he's going to have to ask a lot of questions. He's moving up to super middleweight.
Well, I think he's going to answer a lot of questions. He's going to get asked a lot of questions.
Is the move up good for him?
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Was he weight trained at middleweight? We'll find out. Did he have that broken hand? I'm not I don't know. I didn't
Well, we
read
don't know till
much about it afterwards.
There is things to say about it, but you don't know for sure.
Is he as good as we think he is? I think he is good. Has he grown out? I'm going to say yes, he has grown out the weight.
I think there are a lot of excuses there, but the thing is, with those excuses, you've got to answer it, isn't it?
Yeah,
This is his opportunity to answer. I mean, but against a tough opponent, a tough super
Really, really tough opponent. It wouldn't have been the opponent I'd have picked for him. But maybe that's good because he knows he's going to have to be.
Well, maybe it's like some of these fighters, as we've said, they need the motivation.
You
You need to know they've got to be on it.
On his game, Berlanga,
On his A game. A game.
Yeah, Berlanga ain't scared. We saw that against Canelo. He will trade.
I've seen him. I don't know if you've seen the press conferences yet. He's
high
he's
entertainment.
game for a fight. Yeah, I think he's one of the better super middleweights. He's a tough fight for anybody in that division. He was a tough fight for Canelo. He's not scared. He can scrap. He can go for a fight. I mean, I would say, right, well, let's break it down. On boxing ability, who do you think is better? Pure boxing ability. I would have said Sheeraz is the better technical boxer. Although we'll find out, but what would your thoughts?
50-50.
You think 50-50?
The only reason I'm saying this is just because how poor Sheeraz was in his last fight.
Yeah.
And he was poor.
Well, up until that point, you would have probably said he is the better technical boxer. I mean, I think Adamas, they underrated as well. I think they've a little bit, maybe not, maybe it was the other things, but it looked like they were sort of overlooking him a little bit, and you can't really do that with he's a world champion and a good world champion.
All right, let's just say he was weight trained. Let's just say he was properly weight trained, and that's the thing. This is a fight where Sheeraz can make a massive, massive statement and basically go, yeah, it was, I am a natural super middleweight.
I was weight trained. The excuses then will be accepted.
Because if he beats Berlanga quite handily, that's a massive statement.
That's a statement. I'm in the division now. In my new division.
Yeah.
What if he loses? Is he out then, or is
no?
Do you think maybe that's why they're taking like a Berlanga, because you can go, well, yeah, he is one of the better.
But he's got to because he's not a novice anymore.
Yeah.
He really isn't.
Well, there's not that much difference in their age, and he's 26 and 28, or he's still young, but it's not.
I mean,
that's not a baby age.
No, it's not.
He's had quite a few fights now as well. 22 fights.
22 fights. He should be beating if he wants to be at the top. Yeah,
he would have beat your Berlangas.
Yeah, but the same goes for Berlanga.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good statement for both.
Berlanga should be taking care of Sheeraz if he wants to be at the top. It's a great fight.
Yeah.
It really is a great fight.
All right, should we get back? Power, what do you think? Skill-wise, you're saying 50-50. I think Sheeraz is a little bit better on technical ability, pure boxing ability. In power,
well, you're going to have to go for Berlanga, aren't you, at super middleweight?
Yeah. Because we've got no evidence of how much Sheeraz, we don't know if it's going to carry or not. Sheeraz has got power, but Berlanga has got pop and a lot of knockouts. What is it? 18 and 24. So, I mean, percentage-wise, they're not that far apart.
50-50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Power-wise, I think.
Assuming Sheeraz can carry up, I say it's 50-50.
Yeah, and he should be able to carry up.
Well, especially if he's weight trained and stuff. So, yeah, okay, we'll give that as 50-50. We don't do it. Boxing, ring IQ. That's a hard one to judge, isn't it? A Berlanga for experience, but then it's not that many more fights neither. And then sometimes he doesn't always do, because the ones who usually have a big pop don't always have the best.
Again, but for me, it's 50-50. That's why I think
I would say Sheeraz
fight.
Doesn't have more because he hasn't shown. When he was under adversity, he hasn't adapted.
No, he hasn't. When it's going his way, yes, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But again,
I think 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got? Experience is about the same. I think obviously Berlanga a little bit. Like in fights, he's probably had a little bit better.
I think the experience against Canelo would have been better for Berlanga. Although you're going to go for Sheeraz, the experience against Adames and what he came through there, would that done him the world of good? Maybe, yeah, I'd say so.
Well, it should do. Hopefully it has. Yeah, because if you're looking at the fight cards, really, Berlanga's best fight is Canelo, obviously. And I think his is Adames. Draw, but I think both of them really should have lost. One did lose in the thing. Berlanga's probably a little bit more, but I think they're not that far apart.
This fight, like say, it's just
50-50.
Proper good 50-50 fight, this.
What else have we got left? What have I missed? So we got skill, power, ring IQ, experience, mentality. Again, I'd say that's 50-50, isn't it? And they both got to, well, I think it's as we said earlier, they both got to make a statement on it, hasn't it? Who's the... It's basically
just a proper 50-50 fight, this one. It really, really is.
I think if both of them want to live up to their billing, both of them have to win, isn't it?
Yeah, and that, you know, a lot of people will be going off Berlanga's fight against Canelo. I thought Berlanga did really well against Canelo.
Yeah.
He never seemed really hurt either against Canelo.
Well, yeah, I think he can take. He's quite robust.
And then, so, all right, so say let's.
Well, I don't think he's been.
Okay, so put this way.
He's been down once.
Who's got more power, Sheeraz or Canelo?
Canelo, one punch. Yeah. Well, from historical evidence, I would say Canelo, and there's a lot of people who've said he has. So, because there was people, I'm with you on it. There's quite a lot of people who are saying he was just running. Well, we've seen somebody who runs in Skull. That was just running. Although there's some people, you know, who argue the case on that he won, which I didn't see. But I can see their argument, but I don't think even based on their argument that it makes sense. Berlanga, I don't think did. I think he was
clever.
Yeah, I think he was cute on.
And he had a game plan which he stuck to.
Which, from his reputation, you wouldn't have thought that's the way he's going to fight.
The thing is if we go on the Canelo fight, Canelo does not throw a lot of punches.
No,
he really, really doesn't. He'll cut
as evidence that will present the Canelo versus William Skull fight, the lowest punching fight in the history of boxing.
What Canelo does do is he cuts the rings off and makes the openings to throw his punches.
Yeah. He's more efficient now than he used to be, where he break down. It's the mental pressure and they're backing him up.
Yeah, whereas Sheeraz, I think, will throw more punches.
Well, that's what he's been known to do, and it's a high output.
So for me, it's how will Berlanga be able to deal
with that? Yeah.
With that.
Because Berlanga threw in against Canelo, and in a lot of fights he throws in bunches, and then has a break, and then bunches, and then there's a bit of movement, whatever. It's not like like some of these fighters, even like Sheeraz and some of his, where it's boom, 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 boom. Yeah, he has little bits because he's obviously he's learning his game, but he's a pressure consistent.
But Berlanga's going to have to try and get inside on Sheeraz because he's a tall lad.
He's going to have the advantage, and he's got the 2 inches reach and 2 inches in height, which is quite a lot in.
Yeah,
I think. And past that jab, which normally, if his hand is working, is usually pretty good, his jab. I mean, Berlanga is a bit more unorthodox in some of his things. He can angle and get past them.
Yeah, he can. And he throws a good. He's got good footwork as well, Berlanga.
And he can put together punches quite well.
Underrated.
Yeah. Well, I think he's smarter. His ring IQ is higher than what. If you just look at his record and his fights, and because the way he speaks in the things promoting, you wouldn't give him as much. But if you actually watch his performance against Canelo and some of his other performance, he is a bit smarter than that. His ring IQ is a bit more than I think he's given credit for. This is a tough fight.
Yeah.
It's a big jump up. Who would you say is the favourite? Or is it 50-50?
I reckon Sheeraz is the favourite with the bookies.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, it is pure 50-50.
I would say a little bit. I think Berlanga, because it's his division and Sheeraz is stepping up. But looking at how we've gone through and discussed it, I would say it's a 50-50-ish fight.
It's a great fight. Really is a great fight.
assuming we take out what happened in the Adames fight and fights before with Sheeraz, I would say yeah. And then what Berlanga's done, including against Canelo, I think it's a good measure of where he is. Is he really world class? Because I think if he can pull it off, and depending on the style he pulls it off.
Look,
and again, I think for Berlanga as well, it's a good statement.
Yeah, for both fights, and this ain't the end. If either
no,
of
I
them
think
lose.
this is a tough fight, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a tough division.
And it may just be who's better on the day.
Yeah.
Or something happens in the fight or something. I think it is. They're both good fighters. I think Sheeraz is a little bit more to prove because he's got to answer back. I think Berlanga a bit less to prove, but yeah.
Look, if you get beat by Canelo, you don't lose anything.
No.
I know that sounds bad, but you don't.
No. You're expected to. A super middleweight anyway, you're expected to. So, he's unbeaten at that weight. And nobody's really come close out of all the people.
You don't lose anything. Sheeraz, let's not forget, Sheeraz was this unstoppable force, especially in Britain. He was... this guy's... He was nailed on...
I think for Riyadh season, they wanted him to be...
Yeah, he was nailed on
one
to
of their stars, isn't it?
The next world champion.
Yeah.
He was untouchable. He was wasn't he the captain of the 5v5 in the Matchroom versus Queensbury? He did have... Let's say... I think we put a lot of weight on his shoulders.
Well, I think we were giving him quite a lot as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't we have him to win both of us, I think?
Yeah, quite easily.
I think we overlooked as well a bit so we can't blame him.
Or do you just have an off night in boxing? But you shouldn't have an off night when it's your first world title. Or is he just not that good?
Yeah. One of the things I was going to say is even if... I think you can lose, but depending on how you lose, if it's a close points or something like that, or a good to and fro contest, or if you get caught by a punch, I think this could be a good measure of where he actually is. Win, lose, or, well, hopefully not draw, but
because let's be honest, he's never fought anyone at world-class level.
Other than Carlos Adames was the first. He was a world champion level. He sort of built up nicely and then jumped a bit to that because I think the excitement's taken over a little bit because I think Riyadh season wanted one a star, up and coming star. The excitement around him, I think they've rushed him a little bit to get to that level.
Because he was never.
I think you should have one or two more contests at above Tyler Denny level before you go to Carlos Adames level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he's won in 2 rounds there. All right, Austin Williams took him for 11. But then he's in the first round, second round, 5th round. I think he needed a bit more, a couple of fights in between.
I think the problem was he was like the WBO European light middleweight champion.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the WBO light middleweight champion is. I'd have rather him been just plain European champion and fought round Europe against some top opponent.
Yeah, just raised it up a bit more.
But hey, he was getting rid of people super quick and, beating like Liam Williams and Bradley Skeet and them quite handily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think but he is not a baby anymore, so you do have to...
You've got to throw him in the deep end at some point and see can they sink or swim. This is again throwing him in the deep end.
I do really like this fight, so it is a good one.
I think potentially it's a really, really good matchup, and the styles could be really, really
it's going to be
nice fight.
A banger.
How does Hamzah win? What does he have to do?
Patience.
Jab and box, basically. Box at a distance.
But
take opportunities if they come, but don't rush it.
I think he's got to be quite offensive, though.
Yeah, because I think if you don't, you're gonna basically give confidence to.
I think he's got to be quite offensive.
But I think he's got to be on the front foot in it. Put pressure on. He uses height and reach advantage. He can box and show that he can do that, and then take advantage of his openings. Don't be shy to take advantage of openings, but
I don't think
keep the pressure on and keep that. I think keep the high punch rate up.
Yeah, I think you need to hire a punch.
Yeah, to keep Berlanga at bay and then basically wear him down on points. Yeah, if you get an opening and if you can wear him down, take advantage and you can get him out of there.
Yeah.
But obviously nobody's got out of Berlanga, so maybe that isn't the primary aim. But box him. I think he's got a chance if he boxes him and on points.
Okay.
And I think he can frustrate Berlanga and then it'll be closer in the first few rounds, up to halfway, I think, and then he can pull away a bit. Because you might get a rounds going a bit to and fro, but I think he can, if he keeps a high punch rate up, he can keep him at bay and get him there. All right. For Berlanga, what's your game plan? Because he's got to get in under that.
I have one worry with Berlanga.
Okay.
And it's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just wondering, I don't know whether he's got any respect for Sheeraz at all.
I was going to say, my worry is, do you think he's going to be overconfident?
Well, that can either be...
Or is he just playing games in his press conference?
I mean, that can either be a really good thing or...
But it might work out for him.
Could be a really, really
he might
bad
walk
thing.
on something really bad.
Is he going in with that attitude of, mate, this guy shouldn't even be in the same ring as me?
Why is he want to fight with me?
Yeah.
Well, he's given a little bit of that in the vibe in the press conference and his team as well. But I don't know whether that's just gamesmanship. Because like I said, his ring IQ and his thing...
I think he will go in there, thinking...
Trying to get him out.
I am the better of the two of us, so...
Do you think he starts fast and then gives him a bit of a...
I do. And I think he will try and take Sheeraz out.
And basically make Sheeraz like a deer in the headlights type of thing.
I think they maybe think that Sheeraz froze in his
chance.
Yeah, and they can do it again.
I think that's a good call. I can see that. I think that might be the tactic because just lay it on him. Go for it.
We shall see.
And then it's basically put the pressure on Hamzah to Sheeraz and see if can he cope or is he... Yeah, I think that's dangerous if Sheeraz can, then he can catch him because obviously you've seen his left hooks, right hooks, his range punching is good. But it's whether he can cope, isn't it? Like if he goes off in the first few rounds like that, then it's going to be a tough fight. But if he can cope with it, that's why I think it could be to and fro. Berlanga's chance?
Just as good as Sheeraz. I am properly sat on the fence 50-50. On here, mate, honestly. Properly sat on the fence.
So you think if he puts it on him to try and get him out of there or puts it on him and then just basically makes him wilt and just boxes him out? Or do you think he's going to think, I can get this guy out of here?
Yeah, I think Berlanga's one of them where I might be wrong, he will try and embarrass him and just make him think.
I get that vibe as well.
Yeah, I might be completely wrong about him.
I think he's a bit smarter than that.
I don't know him personally,
but you get that vibe from the press conferences. Which obviously Hamzah Sheeraz corner should be prepared for. They should have been ready. But you never know until the moment that you're in there.
But you always say, don't they, beware the quiet man.
Yeah.
Beware that quiet man.
Well, I think if they're prepared for it then and you can get ready for it, it may just he walks into what, you can get an early stoppage for Sheeraz then. Do you think he can get Sheeraz out, Berlanga? Because you haven't really seen Sheeraz rocked, have we? He's usually quite good and quite...
you don't know because, like I say, it's a new division for...
It's a step up in power as well, and so you're the heavier guys.
You look at...
Berlanga's pretty heavy-handed.
You say, the step up doesn't make a difference. Look at Joe Calzaghe when he first stepped up to light heavyweight. He's dropped by the two fighters in the first round. All right, he come back and won, but... The power, I think, is a little bit, especially if it's a natural weight.
Yeah, if it's a fighter in a natural weight class, and he's a big fighter in super middleweight Berlanga. Yeah,
honestly, that fence, I am sat.
All right, let's go on then.
I am sat on it.
Time, prediction time.
What are the bookies' odds?
Right, let me go. Actually, they haven't got them on there, so I need to find them. So. 10-11 for Berlanga.
He's the favourite.
Yeah. 23-18 for Sheeraz. So only by like a bit, and the draw is 18-1.
Yeah, I thought Berlanga might be the favourite.
And on the predictions on...
I'm reckoning Berlanga is over 60% favourite.
Yeah. 2/3 for Berlanga, 1/3 for Sheeraz. It's 2/3 for Berlanga by KO. So basically, people are not think he's going to go for it from the beginning. Sheeraz decision like 19%, and Sheeraz KO by like 14, just over 14%. So yeah, I think it's the step up in weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
And probably the people who are putting this one on, how many people put on here? Fair few. They will know more of Berlanga than Sheeraz, I think. I think if you did it with a UK one, that's probably a bit more even.
Sure.
Did it help you?
No. No, because like I say, I'm 50-50 on it. I could say...
The problem is who do you want as well?
Yeah.
Because obviously he's called Berlanga,
Sheeraz. And, you know...
I mean, I don't have nothing against Berlanga.
You know...
But we've been following Sheeraz for a while. So.
Sheeraz KO round 4 keeps coming to me, but Berlanga breaks him down and smashes him to pieces and takes him out in 8 rounds comes to me as well. I don't...
You can see both.
I don't think it goes.
I think
to
it's
points.
who turns up on the day, who's actually and executes the game plan the best.
Well, I can't make a decision, but I'll tell you, it won't go to points.
Okay, give both then. So you got.
I think
Sheeraz,
I think Sheeraz round 4. I don't know why that just comes
and
to
Berlanga
me.
round 8.
Yeah, breaks him down and it just maybe and it won't be a knockout. I think the corner will stop it.
Okay, I'm gonna go for. Sheeraz on points.
Points for Sheeraz.
And I'm going to go for Berlanga in 4 rounds KO. So we'll have but 2. Because it is 50-50. Because I think for Berlanga to win, he's going to get him out. It'll be that blitz and get him out of there and then take him, wear him down. Maybe, no, actually, I'll go for 3. Round 3.
Oof. Okay.
Basically, where Sheeraz is a deer in the light and doesn't stand it. And I think if he gets past that, I think Sheeraz will outpoint him. I think he'll get a bit more confidence and go into it. So that's my thoughts on it. And yours is 4. Yeah, so he'll get him out of there quick. And then if not, or it'll be Berlanga wearing him out. Okay, cool. So that's our predictions. Let us know your predictions and thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe as usual. I should have said that at the beginning. Give us your comments on this. What do you think? Do you think Sheeraz can step up, or do you think Berlanga has got this in the bag? What do you think of Sheeraz's name being first against Berlanga? I would have thought Berlanga should be Berlanga versus Sheeraz, isn't it, rather than...
Is it a Riyadh season event?
I was trying to see, isn't it? But it's in the US, so I think it's in the card. Anyway, we can let that go. Right. Pre-special undercard under this. So the co-main event. So we'll move on to the next fight. Just let me bring it up. Shakur, Stevenson, and William Zepeda at lightweight. Shakur being the champion, the WBC champion. Both unbeaten fighters. So this is like the co-main event. I think it was meant to be the main event, and then they've made it the co because I think Berlanga and Sheeraz it's a bit more excitement about, but I don't really understand.
Especially if it was in Britain, or in Riyadh. No, I think Stevenson Zepeda is the bigger fight.
Well, I'm of that opinion. That's what I think was meant to be.
Yeah.
But I think for the billing and whatever they've done it, but it's a co-main event. So we'll put it online. Right, let me do the tail of the tape for this. So Shakur has 23 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 23 fights in total. 11 wins by KO. He's age 27. He's 5'8", 173 centimeters, and his 68-inch reach, 173 centimeters. This fight is at lightweight, so it's 135 pounds, 61.2 kilos, and he fights out of a southpaw stance. William Zepeda has a perfect record as well. 33 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 33 fights in total. 27 of those wins by KO. He's age 29. He's 5'9", 175 centimeters. He's at 70-inch approximately reach, 177 centimeters. And he also fights out of a southpaw stance. I think this should really be the main event fight, a WBC title fight. Shakur, one of the best defensive fighters in the game at any weight, and Zepeda is one of the most entertaining fighters, usually his fights, because he's basically a machine and just goes like, his punch output is ridiculous. I think we've said that on some of them, isn't it? Of his fights that we've covered.
Oh yeah, he's one of the biggest high volume punchers there is in boxing
so
right now.
It's a lot of action in his fights. So, your thoughts on this?
I mean, Shakur Stevenson, he's a genius, isn't he? But my God, he is boring.
That's the caveat you have to put in there.
Jeez, man.
He's technical boxers. He may be one of the best.
He's one of the best that you may have ever seen.
Yeah.
But he does not take any risks.
Yeah.
He is defensively unbelievable.
I've actually got him on here, but I think maybe I can bring it up on CompuBox stats. Let me just I think he's like the best defensive fighter.
Yeah.
And most of like the defensive stats, he's like near the top or at the top.
Oh yeah, I mean that boy is.
And in the difference between how many punches he takes and
yeah,
I'll load it going while you make your point.
That boy does not get punched.
No.
That's why he still looks about 4 years old, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just found it.
But he
go.
I don't think he'll ever been in with a fighter who throws so many punches as Zepeda does.
Well, I think just the interesting thing here, the person who throws the most punches per round on average, guess who it is?
Is Zepeda.
93.9.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. And then the best defensive one who saves the most is Shakur Stevenson. Above Bam Bam, above Lomachenko, Bivol and Benavides, Gervonta, Inoue, Canelo. So it's some list to be on top of that, isn't it? On the difference between how many you land and how many you get them. The average total punches landed per round, the highest, Mr. William Zepeda, 31.3.
Yeah, like I said, I know he's got one of the highest punching stats in boxing right now. So the problem is Stevenson's got such good footwork. You'd want the smallest ring possible to fight him in.
Yeah, so he can't move up. I've just found the other one here. The opponent's total punches landed per round. Who's top of that?
It's obviously
Shakur.
That's what I mean.
5.4. So it's quite interesting. The power punches landed per round. Actually, power punches landed per round. He's second. Whoa. Guess who's top? You're never going to guess who's top. Chris Eubank Jr.
Oh, shut up.
But let's think about it. Shakur's got 4.2. So he's above like Bivol. Yeah, like other defensive fighters on there, the amount they take.
I mean, Stevenson is a genius. And it's Zepeda's got to go in there and basically unlock the matrix.
The matrix, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
How do you do that? Is it by throwing 100 punches around? You know, you're going to land, on the stats.
Well, his lands
5%.
percentage is going to be lower, but yeah, I think you've got to basically go on the basis of throw as many as possible, which he normally does. So he's going to have to be at that rate that he is 90.
But
100.
the problem is you've got to be in range to do that, and Shakur is like an eel.
Yeah, his movement and his IQ
He is
moving
an
around
eel.
is ridiculous.
I
mean, potentially it's a really good fight because you're the best defensive against the best offensive.
Or potentially they completely cancel each other out, and it's
it's the most boring fight ever.
Fest.
Snooze fest.
It's one of them where because Shakur's such a great counter puncher, he stops people throwing punches.
Yeah. It's not that they don't want to; they just can't.
No,
you
they just can't. You don't get in range. If you do get in range, you get clocked. And although Stevenson's, you'd say he hasn't got the greatest power, he's got enough power to make you think twice about coming in.
Yeah. Well, I think he makes it more. It's more effective because he's so accurate.
Yes,
and
his
timing and accuracy is so high.
And because you're 9 times out of 10, he catches you when you're coming in. It's twice the effect.
Yeah.
Is it gonna? something of a masterclass from Stevenson rings to mind. This could be a masterclass where he just absolutely dominates Zepeda, or it could be the other way around of Zepeda can close him down and throw the punches because he's got to throw head and body. If he just throws head, I mean, he's a southpaw as well, so he's going to...
Just throw head, you ain't going to get that much because Shakur's head, like his movement and head
Shakur will just
You've got to take some body to slow him down, and also it's a bigger target.
He's got to be so clever. And Shakur, he can block 2-3, as I've seen plenty of times. What I'd like to see from Zepeda is, okay, you can block 2-3, but can you block 4-5-6?
Yeah.
If I switch it up and down. I think what you have to do with Stevenson, and it's all well and good saying it, is counter the counter puncher. So when you throw the punch and Stevenson's going to counter you.
Counter the counter.
And make Stevenson think twice about, hold on, I don't want to throw that one.
Instead of him making you think, you've got to make him think.
But that is possibly one of the hardest things to do in boxing.
High level to do that.
It's one of the hardest things to do in boxing.
And it's not really Zepeda style.
Because what happens then is Stevenson will go right into his shell.
Yeah.
If Stevenson's scared to throw a counter punch because he might get caught, it's a totally different fight.
Yeah.
A totally different fight.
Well, then he can swing it in, because of his output, he can swing it in his favor and push.
But I think this is going to be a case of it's going to points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be, do you favour the aggression of Zepeda?
Or the skill of...
Yeah, because I think it's going to be close.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be close. And you'll love it with your punch stats after the fight.
Yeah,
you'll be like, well, Zepeda landed this many, so he should have won the fight.
Well, I think it might be one hard to judge because you're probably going to have the output, like the quantity from Zepeda, but the quality from Shakur, because he's like
that's
that laser, like
that's where you go.
Sniper rifle accuracy. And then it's which one do you prefer? And then, that becomes, it could be one of those where it's like rematch time.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, some judges prefer the aggression, some judges prefer the defensive accuracy. It's unless it's extremely clear cut.
It's a hard one to do.
But yeah, I think it'll go to points.
Yeah, I don't think Shakur's one of those that goes out for it, especially against opponents as tough as Zepeda. Zepeda does, but Zepeda's normal winning isn't like, he's not a one-punch guy. It's the 100-punch around, 90-punch around, wearing you out and, getting the fat stoppage. It's not a one-punch dandy. So even though he's got a high percentage of KOs, he's just wearing the opponent out physically, mentally wearing them out, which I think is going to be tougher against Shakur's ability. So it's tough to see.
Yeah.
I think, all right, we'll break it down. Skill-wise?
Stevenson.
Shakur, yeah, all day long, I think. The power?
Zepeda,
yeah. I would have it that way. Ring IQ, that's
Stevenson.
Yeah. I think Zepeda has, but I think he's got that way of fighting. I think Shakur's got more about him.
Nowhere near as good as Shakur.
Well, yeah, I think you're fighting, he's world level, but I think you're fighting somebody who's elite level on that basis. Aggression is Zepeda, isn't it? I think if you're going to go...
Oh, yeah. Like say, Stevenson's...
What else did I have in my list? It's the Ring IQ... Experience. Zepeda has more fights, but I think Shakur has had some good fights as well, doesn't it? So,
do you know what Shakur reminds you? He's a sniper.
Yeah.
He will sit there.
It's laser-like
and wait for days for that perfect shot. and take you out. Whereas Zepeda is, I'm going to put a machete on the end of my gun and I'm going to run at you.
He's a minigun.
Yeah. He's just running through, taking bullets.
Have you seen the Predator film where he's got that gun and he shoots the jungle up? Yeah, that's Zepeda.
Yeah.
Quantity. I mean, don't get me wrong. Quality. I mean, he's a good boxer
He
as
is,
well. We're not thinking, but it is his
The problem
is just
with
wearing you out.
the problem with Stevenson is he's that good. He's boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like I had this conversation with Weirdy Golf the other week over Scotty Scheffler. He's boring as hell, but he wins everything.
Yeah,
He's just boring.
That good.
And Stevenson's that good.
Person. Yeah,
he's boring, and he ain't going to take a risk.
No, especially against when you're a dangerous opponent. So hopefully the fight will be exact opposite wise fireworks, but I think it will be busy because the Zepeda's just going to be busy.
I like it because I'm really interested to see if Zepeda throws his 90 punches around, and I want to see how Shakur deals with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what this fight really interests me.
Oh, I think it's a really good matchup. I think it's been trying to be made for a while, isn't it? Because I think it was Shakur. Zepeda had his Tevin Farmer ones, isn't it? Because that's an interesting fight, I think, because they were close.
Yeah, they were.
Where it was like a guy, Tevin Farmer does have that bit of sneakiness in his boxing and cleverness in a boxing, and he was getting punches and things. And I think this could be that, but I think Shakur's better than Tevin Farmer.
Yeah.
And Shakur has dealt with people like Edwin de Los Santos and people like that who throw a lot of punches, who've got power. And he's sort of dealt with it. Not the most interesting fight in the world, but, he can, because of his skill level, he can craft it out and get out of there, isn't it? Okay, all right. Are we doing odds first or are we going to make our predictions first?
I'm going Stevenson points.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's the most likely.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to be too good. I think he can deal with that. I don't think Zepeda's fought anybody quite like him. Tevin Farmer is, but I think he struggled. But I think Shakur's a level a few above that.
Oh, massively.
And I think Shakur has had fights that are not the same level as Zepeda, but people who throw a lot, people who push back and things, and he's managed to deal with it. I think it'll be quite close because I think it is going to be a little bit of rounds are going to be on which one do you prefer. But yeah, I'm going to go on that. So right, let's do the odds, and should we do rankings as well to see where we are in? Where are we? Lightweight. So Stevenson's ranked third, although I think Keyshawn Davis is above him, and I don't think Keyshawn Davis is a lightweight, so he's been stripped. So second basically after Tank, and Zepeda is basically the third, the one after him, isn't it? So yeah, that would probably be about right. So it is a close fight. And the odds, let's see where we are. Right. Betting odds. Shakur is 1-12, minus 1,200 to win outright.
Yeah.
And Zepeda's 15-2, so that's quite wide, plus 750.
Huge.
Oh, I would have thought it would have been closer than that. That's interesting.
No, the bookies.
All right, the predictions. Community prediction on this.
92% Shakur for points.
Nearly 86.
Okay.
85.7% for Shakur to win by decision. 4.8% is a draw. And 9.5% for Zepeda by decision. So yeah, the community is sort of going on ours. It's going to get to points. Yeah. That's wider than I thought, but yeah, I can see where it comes from. And let me just put it on here. Let's check on their odds.
Okay.
It is Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, they are quite wide. That's wider than I thought for. A lot of people seem to be favouring Shakur. I think everybody's on I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
Outbox him. Cool. So yeah, that's our thoughts on there. I mean, a good matchup. But yeah, it's like outside of Tank there, that's probably the two best. Now that Keyshawn isn't a lightweight anymore. and Loma's retired, so they're the two closest. So it is a good contest. It's good that it's been made. Yeah, look forward to seeing it, although it could be a snooze fest.
Yeah.
It could be fantastic. It could be a snooze fest. So let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one as well. Let us know your predictions and let us know your thoughts. And we shall move on to the next fight in the card. Once it's scrolled back past it again. Let me just bring it up. I think it is Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias. Super lightweight. This is for the WBC, Puello's WBC World Super Lightweight Championship. And Subriel Matias getting back on at this. He's a dangerous guy. He was the most dangerous guy in this division. And Puello's doing pretty well. So shall I start with a tail of the tape? So Puello is 24 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 24 fights in total, 10 KOs of those 24 fights. He's age 30. He's 5'9", 177 centimeters, a 71-inch reach, 180 centimeters. It's at super lightweight, so it's 140 pounds, 63.5 kilos, and he fights out of a southpaw stance. Subriel Matias has 22 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws, 24 fights in total. He's got 22 KOs of those, so he's basically won all his fights by KO that he's won. He's age 33. He's 5'8", 173 centimeters, and 71 inches, 180 centimeters, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. This is an interesting fight as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a typical boxer versus puncher.
I think this is the definition of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matias is like the ultimate puncher. Puello is I'm sure he's the ultimate boxer, but he's a technical boxer more than knockout artist. Whereas Subriel Matias is basically a knockout artist of the highest order. You have to say as well. Because he's only been beaten on points, and I think first one he lost was really close against Petros Ananian, but she revenged and then took him out, made him retire. And then Liam Parrow, one of the fights we've covered on our channel, which was a surprise, but Parrow managed to outbox him. Although Matias didn't look himself on that night. And then he's recovered from that and then basically knocked out everybody's fought since then. 2 fights. So we know what Subriel Matias' tactic's going to be. Basically knock him out. That's fairly straightforward. And he's Puerto Rican versus a Dominican Republic fighter. Puello we haven't covered before. He's sort of sneaked up on in super lightweight because obviously there's the other people in super lightweight who seem to get a lot of noise. Parrow obviously got a bit when he's beaten Subriel. Subriel had a lot of noise because he was the danger man in this division.
Yeah, unfortunately for Puello,
he's sort of gone under the radar.
His biggest headlines is he was suspended for 6 months for being a drugs cheat.
Okay.
Back in 2024, he got found to have the same substances as Conor Benn, chloroform. I don't know what it's for. He basically, I think he got a 6-month ban and a fine, but he had evidence to prove that they were taking a fertility drug to help get his wife pregnant, and he did have all the doctors and fertility testing evidence to back that up. So I think he lost his title, or he was due to fight. I think he was due to fight Rolly Romero.
Yeah,
at the time. So yeah, that's what I know him for mainly is because he was handed a 6-month drug ban. Obviously, like I say, he's got all the evidence. He served his ban. He's done his fine. He's back. So, do we move on from it? I suppose we have to. He's a good boxer. A very,
very slick boxer. Well, he's fought some good fights, isn't it? Because his last fight against...
His nickname's The Wasp. Yeah. I love that nickname.
Sting and move.
He's one of them that he's going to frustrate the hell out of people in the boxing ring.
Well, you would say he's even probably better than Liam Parrow at doing what Liam Parrow did, and then there's a way of winning. Yeah. But I think the problem with fighting against Matias is if he catches you,
you're in trouble.
It's game over, basically. He should be able to finish you. I mean, it's Puello's fight. He's Sando Martin, which was a bit contentious. I think it was a split decision win. Yeah. Martin fought out of his skin. It was really, really good.
This fight is going to come down to Puello is going to have to
box perfect for 12 rounds, basically, isn't it?
I don't think he's got the power to stop.
I don't think
Matias, but he's going to...
I think Puello's got enough power to... It's basically the same as Shakur. He's got enough power to frustrate... But keep you at bay.
Yeah, the difference is
make you think twice. But Matias
isn't
really
one mistake.
Matias going to
lights out.
Yeah, and that's why Matias' fights are harder to think.
But probably I've got his age is catching up on Matias now. He's 33. Mm-hmm. He's been in some wars.
Mm-hmm. Well, he likes the fight, isn't it? It's a scrap and the thing, and usually on them he comes out on top.
I think he will come out on top here.
Yeah,
I've just got a funny feeling that he's going to quack.
Well, I think on his day, he can beat anybody because of the power and the way he fights. It's if he catches you, it's basically... I don't think anybody's got that much of a chin that he can... You could go toe-to-toe with him. I think he wins. It's the skill. You've got to do like Parrow did, innit? It's the skill level of being able to outbox him and keep him at bay for that long and frustrate him, which means you can't make a mistake.
No, you can't.
If you make a mistake, it's going to be, two makes mistakes and you're out. Basically, if you make one, you might just about be able to get away with it. So Puello's tactics for Puello is basically he's got a box perfect for
get some respect.
Yeah, put enough pop in to get enough respect.
Which he has got, to be fair.
To be fair, he did do that with like Gary Antoine Russell and Sando Martin, isn't he? He does enough where they, he's fought some people who've got a bit of pop and then kept them there. I mean, the Antoine Russell one was funny because it's a split decision. It was a close fight, but one of the cards was ridiculous. It was like 109, 118 to Russell, which just...
Well, we seem to get a lot of that in fights lately, don't we?
Yeah. And that's what made it split. I mean, it should really have been probably, unanimous the other way. So, but I mean, it was a good fight and against a good boxer. And then Sando Martin fought out of his skin. And it was a close one, but I do think Puello won. Even though that was a split decision as well. So, but I mean, you could see it there because it's a little bit of what do you like. Puello was doing it, and then Martin's come back into it, and then and like I said, boxed out the skin, but Puello still came through it. So he's a very, very good boxer. I think it's basically the question is, can he keep him off? Can keep Matias off for that long?
Can he frustrate? I mean, I think Matias can be a bit of a sulker as well at times.
We did a bit against Parrow.
Yeah, if it's not going his own way,
he can wait and be patient, but like if he's got to have some progress, when you get it. And I think Parrow just completely... It's frustrated him more than outboxed, skilled him. I think it was more just that, and he's pulled it.
I think Matias' big problem is he can beat himself.
Yeah. I think that's his main block.
So we'll see if that happens.
For Matias, tactics?
Knock him out.
Do what he does, basically.
Yeah. It's going to take him a few rounds, but I think he'll start to find the openings. I think he'll go over.
Well, I think we need to Matias.
Puello's a southpaw, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think Matias will work out how to get over that right jab with his right hand.
which is a decent weapon.
Yeah, and Matias will land it
Yeah. I think he probably will. I think.
in about. I won't give you the prediction yet, but that's what I can see. I think Puello's going to have a lot of success with his right jab, left to the body.
I think Puello's going to be winning on points.
Yeah, but I
You
think
get caught.
I think Matias will time him perfect, and he'll catch him with a beautiful right hook coming over that. I think what will happen is Puello will start throwing lazy jabs, and that's where Matias will
Take
capitalise. Yeah. Matias is a big favourite in this, weirdly. For me.
That his favourite?
For me, he is, yeah.
Matias' favourite for you?
Yeah. Big favourite for me.
Well, I think the thing is, you can catch Puello, and I think that's what.
He's got that equaliser.
Yeah, when you've got an equaliser, he can be losing on the cards. I think he is going to be. I think Puello will be winning, and then Matias will just.
Maybe Matias
knocks
about in round 9.
It's quite good. All right, should we do odds first, or are we going to do predictions?
I'll go predictions.
Okay.
Round 9 for Matias.
I'm going to give him Puello on points. Just because I've got a funny feeling that he will be able to frustrate him out.
Okay.
But my head does say Matias on points. Matias by KO in about round 8 or 9, somewhere around there. I think he'll work him out by that and just catch him. I think Puello will be winning on points, and he's just going to catch him and take him out. But I'll make him a prediction on points. Just the Puello will manage to avoid it. Right, the prediction on the community predictions is basically 80% Matias KO, 20% Puello decision. And the odds, where do I put the odds? There we are. 8-7 Puello, 13-16 for Matias, and 16-1 for the draw. So yeah, Matias is the favourite.
Wow.
But that's a bit closer than the other one. But yeah, you can see it either way. It's whether he can avoid him or Matias does what Matias does. And it would be good to see him back in the mix. He's exciting to watch.
Yeah.
It's a bit rough around the edges, but it makes for interesting fights because you've got that equalizer in bits. But yeah, go on. I'll go for this is my shock one. So I'll go for Puello. Right. And so let us know in the comments your thoughts, your predictions, what you think will happen in this. I mean, they are close. So Puello's like the number 2 by ring, and Matias is like number 6 ranked. And yeah, he's down. He's fought to mandatory, so Matias is further down, but he's fought a lot of the top guys in WPC. Is doing quite well. There's some interesting fights in this division anyway.
Yeah.
Although people seem to be moving weight till new ones coming in, so we'll see what happens. Right, next fight in this card is Morell and Khataev. Let me just load it. So there's David Morell versus Imam Khataev. So both fighters that have had sort of a few fights, I think, good amateur careers and come into this. So let me start with the Taylor tape. This fight is David Morell has 11 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 12 fights in total, 9 wins by KO. He's aged 27. He's 6'1", 185 centimeters, 77-inch, 196 centimeter reach. It's at light heavyweight, so it's 175 pounds, so 79.4 kilos, and he fights out of a southpaw stance. And Imam Khataev has 10 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 10 fights in total, 9 wins by KO. He's age 30. He's 5'10", 179 centimeters. and he's got a 70-inch reach, 179 centimeters, and he fights out of an orthodox stance. So this one an interesting contest. Morell lost his last fight against Benavides, but it was a good contest. Although I think both of us said we could have let his hands go a bit more. And Khataev is up and coming light heavyweight that I think they want to build up. So that's why they made a good contest, I think. What are your thoughts on this one, Simon?
Easy win for Morell.
Okay.
If I think Morell is what I think he is, it's an easy win.
Okay,
Too slick, too powerful. Been in with better opposition, a lot better opposition. And I just think he's on a different road. Thought the Benavides fight come way too early for him, but
he's still proper good.
Yeah, we had Benavides down in round 11. I had it quite close, that fight. And I rate Morell. I think he's really good. So I'm not going to give the other guy a sniff.
Okay.
I think, yeah, he's an up-and-coming fighter. I sometimes don't like these fights, where it's both newcomers, because they are newcomers to the professional ranks. Both only had, one's had 10 fights, one's had 11.
12 and 10.
Yeah, they should take him on that direction and then meet, not...
Yeah, some of them are strange with it, but I think the ones who have like a decent amateur pedigree, they sort of rush them a little bit. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I just think...
Morell has the better opposition on there. He's got Radivoje Kaladzic, and he's got Benavides, right?
Yeah.
Lost, but it was a contest on one of the scorecards. Yeah. I'm
just hoping that this isn't a... because the guy, he's 10 fights, 9 knockouts. I haven't really heard of him, I'll be honest. I'm just hoping it's not one of them where they think it's going to... It's a little bit of a test for Morell, but he should come through quickly, and I'm hoping they haven't made the mistake thinking that.
Well, he is a tough fight. I think that they put him in because I don't know if they know if he's ready, but he is quite high level for that. He's had a good amateur pedigree as well. Personally, I think this is a step too far for him. I think Morell is really good.
He should be.
But I think it's also not a walk in the park for Morell. Yeah. Morell has to be on his A game. If it's on his A game, I think he should win reasonably comfortably. He's got enough of all the things which we'll go on to about him to beat Khataev. But I think Khataev, if he's not on his A game, I think it's banana skin. Yeah. So I think it's not like a walk in the park where he can be off his game and win. I think he needs to be on his game. So it's a test, but one he should get through. Yeah. I think it's not a walk in the park. For Khataev, I think hard, unless... I think Khataev's main win is if Morell is off his game.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, overlooking them or whatever they're doing. It's not usually the thing, because Cuban fighters and whatever, and the team, he's usually professional and on his... They're prepared.
Should be.
And he has enough about him, ring IQ, to test that. But yeah, let's go do the thing anyway. So, boxing skill. I've got Morell.
Yeah.
Power. I think both of them have, but I think Morell is solid puncher and he's got a good KO ratio. Khataev has power as well, so we can give both. But ring IQ,
Morell,
yeah, and experience. I think Morell, because he's had 12 versus 10 fights and better opponents, even in a loss. But against the obviously Benavides is a really, really good fighter, and I think it was pretty close. I think Morell could have even pulled, but I think the little bit of the tactics weren't quite spot on. And he was deducted a point for punching after the bell, but...
Good lad.
Yeah. It can be done. So, Yeah, I think it's a tough fight. I think there's a lot of hype around Khataev, of some people, obviously his side pushing. But I think Morell is the real deal. I think he's got enough about him, isn't it, to get this done, as long as he's not overlooking it, and as long as he's professional and not overlooking
he should
it.
do. He should win this. He should. Get us back on track and...
Yeah.
I mean,
and I don't think anything out to Khataev. I think he'll show him what that level is, the level at the world level.
Hey, and if Khataev wins, then
that's him there. Yeah,
great.
Really good performance.
But I just don't see it. I think Morell. I do rate Morell.
I think Morell's no chump. He's a good boxer.
Rate him.
On his game, like I said, the way I can see him losing is if he's not on his game. As good as Khataev is, I think if Morell's on his game and everything brings it all, I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think
he's got enough to. I think it'd be closer than people think, but he's got enough to get over him. I think if he's off, then that's where Khataev has a chance, and I think Khataev can win if Morell messes up somewhere, doesn't take it seriously. And all right, are we doing odds first or predictions? We've sort of done a predictions, but like, let me see if we've got any. You calculating it?
I don't think there is any, is there?
Well, I can do the odds first if you want. The betting odds is 1-5 for Morell, 9-2 9-2 for Imam Khataev, and 20-1 for the draw. So fairly solid in the favour of Morell. And in terms of predictions, near enough 92% for Morell, 75 by KO. That's quite interesting, and nearly 17 for decision, and 8% for Khataev on decision.
I'm going for 5th round KO Morell.
I was going to go points, but yeah. So what have you got? 5th round.
Morell will win 5th round KO.
I'm gonna go. Is it 12 round fight? Just check before we make rounds. The 10 round fight. So I think Khataev is quite tough. So 7th round KO. It's I think he's going to take a bit. I think he's going to wear him out, and then he's got enough pop and about him that he's just going to wear him out, whether it's stopped or KOs him. I think the output will do him. But I could also see it gone to points for Morell.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, we'll see. All right, let us know your thoughts in the comments. What your prediction is, what your thoughts are, what your thoughts are on our analysis of the fight and the whole event. What you think of the whole event as well. Let us know what you would like us to do or what we can improve. That would be cool as well. Or what you think we do good, what we don't. I'm sure you will let us know that. You do usually. And we shall see you in the next set of videos. And we'll probably do some in between. But I think, next set after this fight is obviously Usyk Dubois 2. And there's a lot of other good fights coming up as well. So we shall see you in those. Thank you very much for watching and listening. See you in the next one.